Hi, welcome to Law with Professor Anita, simplifying law and shaping legal careers. Law. When we talk about law, the major thing which comes to our mind is CLAT. What is CLAT exam? CLAT is not just an exam, it's the single gateway to 25 national law universities in India. And one of the small mistake in understanding the pattern, the eligibility, or the syllabus can cost you an entire year. Whether you're a class 12 student or a student who's aspirant to enter into the NLUs through CLAT, or a CLAT aspirant, or a law graduate mainly aiming for a LLM degree from the top NLUs. This video is for you and you will get a complete crystal clear idea and a roadmap for CLAT exams. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. So to talk about the CLAT exams, as you know, it's mainly a gateway to the India's premier law universities. Now, as we know that the common law entrance exam, which is the common law admission test, which is open for all the UG as well as the PG throughout the legal education to entire 25 national law universities across India. So this slides or the PPTs which I am mainly making it to navigate it to the students with regard to the exam structure, with regard to the eligibility, and with regard to the preparation strategies for the success or to mainly clear the CLAT exam. That is going to be mainly the takeaway for you from this video. With regard to the CLAT, it's mainly the common law admission test, which is in short called as CLAT, which is a national level entrance examination which happens for the admissions of the 5 years integrated LLB program as well as the LLM program, which is organized by a consortium by 25 national law universities in India. Let's come understand what exactly is CLAT exam. So this consortium mainly comprises of representatives of 25 national law universities that collectively manage the entire admission process. Several affiliated universities organization also recognize CLAT scores for the admissions and the recruitment processes. But the CLAT exam is like a fundamental way or the fundamental exams which are mainly conducted to mainly evaluate students based on their comprehension and reasoning abilities rather than just memorization, or mainly ensure that the students are much aware of comprehending and legal and logical reasoning. It also focuses on the aptitude focused approach, which is mainly to ensure that the candidates possess the critical thinking skills which is necessary as a lawyer, as well as it's very much required during the entire journey of your rigorous legal education in the next 5 years in your UG, or the next 1 year or the 2 years of their PG. This examination, the CLAT examination, mainly tests the students on mainly analyzing how exactly the information it draws mainly logical conclusions, and also applying principles to varied scenario skills that form the foundation of the legal practice. So mainly the purpose of CLAT exam is not just to ensure what you memorize, what you understand, but also to analyze it, to logically think, to come with critical thinking, and also to see how rationally and reasonably abilities are mainly developed in the students when entering to the CLAT exams. So now, as you see on the screen, all these are the 25 national law universities which are participating in the CLAT. Just quickly, I'll read out the universities which are mainly playing a vital role in CLAT. One is National Law School of India, University Bangalore, NALSA from Hyderabad, NLU from Bhopal, NUJS from Kolkata, NLU from Jodhpur, HNLU from Raipur, GNLU from Gandhinagar, that is Gujarat, GNLU from Silwa, that is RMNLU from Lucknow, there is RJNLU from Punjab, CNLU from Patna, NUALS from Kochi, NLU from Odisha, NLU SRL from Ranchi, NLUJ from Assam, DSNLU from Vishakhapatnam, TNLU from Trichur, MNLU from Mumbai, MNLU from Nagpur, MNLU from Chhatrapati Shivaji Nagar. There are mainly two branches of their own National Law University. HPNLU from Shimla, DNLU from Jabalpur, Haryana, that is DBRALNU, as well as NLUT Agartala. There is also one from RPNLU from Pragraj. There is one in Goa also, which is in short called as IIULER, and the last NLU Meghalaya, that is Shillong. So these are the major 25 NLUs which are participating in the CLAT, where you can be qualified for your examinations. Now coming to very key information which one has to look into is the resources. So this access detail, the entire the brochure which you can get through the official website, those the CLAT aspirants, the students who are mainly approaching or mainly writing for the next CLAT exams, are requested or mainly insisted to mainly go to the website, that is CLAT at consortium of nlus.ac.in, and you will get all the information with regard to the e-brochures and which are the participating universities, and also you will get the brochure of each university separately also. So if you specifically want to certain see how are these colleges, like 25 universities, you can go to the website and take the e-brochures from there to get more details about the what is the intake, what is the reservation policies, what are the fee structures, and everything would be available on this website. With regard to fee structure, I think you'll be also be able to get it on the CLAT website as well as the particular website. When you get into the consortium of NLSIU, the website, CLAT website, you will be also able to get into the individual NLU websites also before applying, so that you get a clear view as to which would be suitable for you or which would be your preference. Coming to NRIs and foreign national seats, here the candidates who are seeking for NRIs and NRI sponsor seats may not be able to contract the universities directly, because the consortium does not allow any sort of seats for the NRIs and the national seats for the foreign nationals in the CLAT. Apart from that, I insist, because there are no any other information which comes directly to you apart from the only source would be the websites. So make sure you are visiting the CLAT website regularly for any sort of announcements, any sort of clarifications, or any sort of schedules which are mainly changing throughout the admission cycle, because as you know, recently it happened in the month of December 7th, which happened for 2026, but the exams was priorly for in the month of December 2005 on 7, because that was mainly for the class 12 students who had mainly written the exams. Now coming to another very important part is the UG CLAT eligibility criteria. Let's take a bit in a second half, that is the first half, coming to the UG CLAT eligibility criteria. Here there is a age criteria requirement where in the UG CLAT eligibility criteria, there is no any sort of upper limit for UG program candidates appearing for the CLAT exam. However, there is a academic qualification which is for general category. There is 45% of minimum marks has to be there in the plus 12 or any equivalent examination, and for SC, ST and PWD it is mainly 40% or any equivalent grade, right? So appearing candidates have to be there from plus 12, like 10 plus 2 exams can be applied, must be provided with passing evidence at the admission or lose admission rights. That means they need to mainly make sure that they have cleared their 12th before getting into the CLAT exams, especially during the admission time, right? Now when it comes to a certain tiebreaker rule, in cases if they score the equal marks, it would be preferred that the candidates with a higher age would be mainly given much preference, or it might be through a computerized lot of draw of lots if needed, that can also be taken. Now coming to the previous statistics which happened on December 7th 2025, but it was mainly for the admission for the 26th. There 120 questions, mainly the multiple choice questions, were being asked from 5 subjects, where it ran for 2 hours complete duration of the exam, where 120 marks out of that, each question carried 1 marks. And also please note that 0.25% mainly is a negative marking marks which is deducted for every wrong answer which is attempted. So to see as to how exactly it is given, if you see the English language, which is very the first subject, which is mainly comprehension. Apart from that, there'll be current affairs and the GK. Third, legal reasoning. Fourth, logical reasoning, and quantitative techniques. We'll get into in detail as to what exactly it constitutes. So in a nutshell, I have put it in a same slide, but I'll be going in detail to talk about the first subject, that is English language. Here, please remember this is only for 20%, right? Where a 450 marks passage will be given from a very contemporary passage or a historical significant friction or non-friction passage is given, where you will be asked to test the comprehension. This is the entire uh, purpose is to ensure that they test your comprehension, your inferences. How do you summarize it? If it's a big length, they'll ask you to summarize it, or they make comparison of the arguments, or mainly vocabulary in context is being tested in this subject. And please note, it's only 20% which was there in the last exams which was being held. So this carried only 20% of the entire 100%. Coming to the second and very, very important is the current affairs and the GK, which is 25% of the entire 100%, right? So here also you'll be able to get a 450 marks passages from news, journalist sources covering entire contemporary events, or it might be international affairs or historical events, which has a significance role here to make sure you are aware of the current affairs. Coming to the third, legal reasoning, which is very, very important also as a law student and as a aspirants to get into the law field. So here also you'll be given a 450 words where the facts, situations involving legal matters, public policy, moral, philosophical inquiries, everything is being put in a passage, and a prior law knowledge is required here to test the ability to identify the principles and apply them to the scenario, as to how exactly you will be able to bring the rationality and bring the logical reasoning in that passage, which will be given like a hypothetical situation it might be. Coming to the next would be logical reasoning. So here also there's a 450 words passage which is given where they test the argumentary, recognition, critical analysis of reasoning patterns, inferences drawing, assessment of how these conclusions are being brought into legal reasoning subject. Last but very important is the quantitative techniques, which is only 10%, but majorly you'll have to be good in mathematics. So here numerical information, which is mainly revolving around your 10th standard mathematical operations, including ratio, proportions, basics, algebra, mensuration. Mensuration is nothing but which is a geometry concerning with lengths, breadths, area, volume, or any sort of statistical estimation.